Precious Pals event is around the corner in Pokemon Go. This event is going to be heavily focused on Buddy Pokemon. We're going to run through the details, bonuses to really help you guys maximize this event because in our opinion, this event is also very underrated. This is the Precious Pals event. Oh. Hey Fido, you wanna... All right, let's go. As usual, let's get time and dates out of the way. Guys, the Precious Pals event will be taking place this coming Tuesday, the 20th of January at 10 a.m., running all the way until Sunday, the 25th of January at 8 p.m. local time. It's important to mention, though, that on the 23rd, which is going to be Friday, Precious Pals will be taken over by Team Rocket. And we have seen a few confirmed details about what's coming during that takeover. And let me just say that it looks like the Kalos starters will be getting their shadow forms. But we'll be covering that in another video. But let's move on to our first main feature, which is going to be the shiny debut of Shiny Fido going into Shiny Darkspun. Remember, you can evolve Fido for a total of 50 candy, and right now it's actually a pretty good Pokemon in the game. We will cover that at the end. And speaking of shinies, we get another shiny boost to a certain Pokemon, which is going to be Shiny Goldeen. Now, let me just say, Goldeen hasn't spawned for some time, so for a lot of people, this is a good opportunity to get it in your decks, as well as have that shiny boost. Let's look at some other bonuses now. It's going to be additional Candy XL when walking with your buddy. We can earn additional hearts with your buddy Pokemon. We get an increased chance to encounter that Shiny Goldeen, like we said. We're also going to get an increased chance to hatch Shiny Goldeen as well as Shiny Fido coming from 2km eggs. And it looks like there's going to be 3 different Pokemon that will have reduced buddy costs in order to trigger their evolution. The first one is going to be Eevee going into Sylveon. Normally you would have to get 70 hearts with Eevee as your buddy to trigger that Sylveon evolution, and if you didn't do it during the Eevee Calm Day, this could be a great opportunity to try and do that because now during this event you only need 20 hearts. The next one is going to be Pancham going into Pangoro. Normally, to evolve Pancham into Pangoro outside of this event, you would have to make Pancham your buddy and you would have to catch 32 Dark-type Pokemon as well as using 50 candies to trigger their evolution. During this event, though, you're only going to have to catch 10 Dark-type Pokemon as well as have those 50 candies available, which is awesome. And the last one is going to be Palmo evolving into Palmot. Normally, outside of this event, you would have to walk 25 kilometers with Palmo as your buddy. During this event, you're only going to have to walk 5 kilometers to trigger that evolution. I'm going to stop this right here. Though its bonuses don't come around very often, we've got some very cool ways to maximize this once we get to the tips. But let's look at those wild encounters now. Spawning in the wild, it looks like we can see Goldeen. Of course, that's coming with that shiny boost. We have Zorua in the wild, Wimpod, Fido, as well as rare response for Esper. Because we've mentioned the bonuses, you will most likely see Eevee spawning in the wild, as well as Pancham and Palmy. Zorua will be disguised as other Pokemon, so once you do get the encounter, you will kind of get that O screen, and eventually, if you didn't quick catch it, you will see the transformation of it going into the Zorua. We also have featured 2km eggs going down, and before I go even further, it's important to mention this, guys. The last few events, the egg pools have been a lot stronger, and this time it's not any different. Hatching from 2km eggs, we see Goldeen, Togepi, Happiny, Riolu, and Fido. There are some great Pokemon to go after here, and we're going to discuss that in the targets. When it comes to field research, the following Pokemon will probably be rewards. Goldeen is going to be in there, and the 100% CP there is going to be 493. Zorua will be in there. That Hundo CP is going to be 503. For Wimpod, it's going to be 215. Fido will be in there as well at 422, as well as Esper at a 539 CP. Screenshot all of those if you want to remember them. A global collection challenge will be live for all trainers where we're going to have to catch event-themed Pokemon to receive more XP, Stardust, as well as encounters with Fido. For a total cost of $5, you can buy the ticket, and that's going to reward you timed research with 1 Poffin, an event-themed avatar item pose, which is pretty sick, encounters with more of the event-themed Pokemon, and more. If you are considering buying the ticket, please have a look at the web store, because if you do buy this through the web store, you will be able to get more Go points so you can progress through the track and therefore claim some premium awards. More importantly though, you will get 1 extra bonus item from buying it from the web store, which is going to be 1 premium battle pass. Now it's time for our top tips, and first and foremost, we need to focus on Buddy Pokemon. And let's just highlight those 2 bonuses first and foremost of additional Candy XL when walking with your buddy, as well as the potential to earn additional hearts with your buddy Pokemon as well. Just to give you guys an example, and I'm going to leave it on screen right now. Outside of this event, without the use of a Poffin, you would normally be able able to get about 15 hearts per day if you completed all of these tasks. If you were ever looking for a time to use a Poffin in Pokemon Go, it is during this event. And if you didn't know what a Poffin did to your buddy Pokemon, let's just run through it very quickly. Once you give your buddy Pokemon a Poffin, it's going to immediately get into the excited state. The reason why this excited state is so important is that it pretty much doubles the capacity of how many hearts you can get on a particular day. Like we said, outside of this event, you would probably get around 15. Now you could get potentially up to 30. So as you give it a Poffin, it's going to enter that excited state, and it's actually going to give you a heart boost. So for the give your buddy a treat task, it's actually going to fill all 6 of those hearts as you give it the Poffin to give you a head start. And it's pretty much going to double the hearts earned from all the other buddy activities for the day. More importantly though, and coinciding with this event, it's going to cut the distance required to earn candy and XL candy and Mega Energy by 50%. So why is this important in this event? Because if you have any legendary or mythical Pokemon that take 20 kilometers to earn candy or XL candy, remember, the bonus is that we can earn extra XL candy by doing this. I have a top tip to really maximize this strat. Before this event starts, I want you to start walking those mythicals or those legendaries that you need that XL candy for to try and get us to level 50. I would suggest picking a few of them and walking the 19 kilometers and stopping there. Do not hit the 20k mark and switch out your buddy and do the same. The reason why is that once this event starts, you actually have a head start. So as soon as the event starts, you finish the last kilometer. So then you're going to earn your first candy as well as your first XL candy, but only walking 1 kilometer. So what you actually want to do as well is that you want to Poffin right before the event as well. So it's going to have the distance. So now instead of walking 20 kilometers, you're going to have to walk 10 kilometers and you're only going to have to walk 1 more K to pretty much get double the reward. This is why it's so important to really focus on mythicals during this event. There is a big but to this tip though. It is not guaranteed for you to receive XL candy. So how do we increase our chances? And there is a way. Trainers obviously need to be level 31 or over. Second of all, your chances of receiving XL candy from these legendary or mythical Pokemon depends on the Pokemon's level. If the Pokemon is caught from a raid at level 20 or 25, its chances are actually pretty low, only about a 25% chance for you to receive that XL candy. However, if you power these Pokemon up to level 31 or above, you then immediately get a 75% chance at getting that XL candy. So if I just use my Black Kyurem as an example, this Pokemon is already at level 50. So the chances of me when I walk this Pokemon, and you can see the kilometers are pretty close to the 20 kilometer mark. And even when I've thrown a Poffin on now, you can see it's pretty close to the 10 kilometer mark. So once this event starts, I'm going to keep that Poffin active. I'm going to hit that 10 kilometer mark, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that candy, but definitely that XL candy because the chances are so high because it's level 50. When you guys use a Poffin, you're going to get double the hearts. Therefore, you're going to double the speed at which you can reach Best Buddy. The reason why you want to reach Best Buddy is that at Great Buddy, Ultra Buddy, and finally at Best Buddies, you will get certain perks. Like for example, the bounce back feature. That is something that's incredibly helpful, especially on something like raid days, where if you did mess up your throw and the Pokemon bounces your ball, your buddy could bounce that ball back and potentially hit that excellent even if you did have the ring lined up correctly. It could also bring you souvenirs and things like that, but more importantly, when you reach Best Buddy, you will then get the Best Buddy badge, which is pretty much a visual thing to show that this Pokemon can now reach not just level 50, but level 51, because at Best Buddy, you can increase your Pokemon CP by 1 level. So that's what they mean by level 51 Pokemon. Moving on to tip number 2, and to be honest, I'm going to combine 2 things in here that actually have nothing to do with this event. The first one is that on the day of this event, there is going to be a spotlight hour for Hatena, and the bonus there is going to be 2 times transfer candy. We've just played Kyurem Fusion Raid Day. If you guys are able to trade those Kyurems with a best friend, I would strongly recommend trading those Pokemon so you can get hundos of both, so you can get a hundo Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. However, if you've done a lot of that and you just need more candy, please transfer a lot of those Pokemon in that hour, as well as any others that you would have caught, because you're going to get 2 times transfer candy for all of those Pokemon. And once you've transferred this Pokemon, please try and play this Hatena Spotlight Hour as hard as possible. The reason why is that you want the candy as well as the XL candy for Hatena for G-Max Hatterene, which will be coming out, and it will be the best fairy type G-Max attacker in the game for the foreseeable future when it does come, and I think it is arriving soon. So remember to do that. The other thing I'm going to throw in here, and I have said this even in our This Week episodes, guys, Mega Sceptile will be in raids all the way until the 25th. It is the best grass type attacker in the game with Frenzy Plant. It is the 17th best dragon type attacker in the game because it does take on that dragon typing, and overall, because it shares that grass and dragon typing, once you have it at Mega Level 3, it's so useful to use this Pokemon to really retrieve the candy and XL candy when certain events comes around that share those types. Mega Sceptile is one of the best Mega Pokemon Pokemon in the game right now. Tip number 3 is going to be touching Buddy Pokemon again. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. This is one feature in the game that I haven't used enough of at all. Please remember about the Platinum Buddy medal. In order to get that Best Buddy Platinum medal, you need to Best Buddy 200 Pokemon. To make this simpler for you guys, I would suggest making a folder with all of the Buddy Pokemon that you really want to try and either max to level 51 or try and get candy for during this event. Because remember, you really want to be trying to get as many hearts on these Pokemon during this event as possible. Tip number 4 has to do with candy gains. As time is going on in Pokemon Go, even in the Pokemon Go franchise, it's becoming very apparent that with new megas coming out, with new release of certain Pokemon, having candy for certain Pokemon now and collecting it now is very, very important. But how do we maximize this event? The thing that's a little bit tricky is that almost every single type that we know that is spawning in the wild they don't really share one type. So for example, if you Mega Evolved a Mega Level 3 Water type Pokemon, you could get XL Candy for things like Goldeen as well as Wimpod, and you will need the XL Candy for one of those Pokemon, and we're going to show you why in the targets as we segue in a little bit. Overall, pick 1 or 2 of these Pokemon that you really want to target during this event, and remember to Mega Evolve its corresponding type. So for Zorua, you would use a Mega Level 3 Dark type. For Esper, you would use a Mega Level 3 Psychic type. For Wimpod and Goldeen, you would use a Mega Level 3 Water type, and of course for Fido, you would use a Mega Level 3 Fairy type. But speaking of candy, do we want to even get candy or XL Candy for certain Pokemon? Absolutely, and we're going to show you why right now. Moving on to our target number 1, which is going to be Goldeen, coming with that shiny boost, which is very cool. But Goldeen right now evolving into Seaking. Seaking currently in the Great League is a very strong Pokemon. Unfortunately, you will actually need 2 legacy moves for this Pokemon, which is going to be Drill, Run, and Icy Wind. That's currently in the 86th spot as of recording this video. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-14-14, and in the Ultra League it performs even slightly better. But here's where the XL Candy come in. It's currently ranked 83, but guys, a Seaking at a 15-15-15 maxes out at 2-4-4-4. So you can see, even with the Best Buddy bonus, if you did have this active on this Pokemon, increasing it by 1 level, it's maxing out just below the 2,500 cap, which means it's a perfect Pokemon for the Ultra League. And currently ranking in that 83rd spot, again with those 2 legacy moves, Seaking is a really good option to get that XL Candy for, especially if you're into PvP. Our next target we're going to focus on is going to be Fido, going into Darkspun. Now, as we know, Fido does have that shiny boost hatching from those 2-kilometer eggs, which we will touch on in a little bit, but going into Darkspun, in the Great League right now, it's currently ranked around the 220th spot. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-15-14 for the rank 1, but in the Ultra League, it performs slightly better with XL Candy, and it has a very similar scenario to Seaking. At a 15-15-15 with the Hundo, it's going to be maxing out at 2-3-7-0. So again, it's just below that 2,500 cap in the Ultra League, but it's just going to have all the bulk it can potentially get. So it just makes this Pokemon pretty bulky, and it also applies fast move pressure. So it's a pretty good one to go after in PvP as well. Target number 3, and I'm going to make this very quick, is Zorua. Would you want XL Candy for this Pokemon? In the Great League, and even as a raid attacker, it's not great because it's very glassy. However, the Hisuian Zoroark, which shares that normal and ghost typing in the Ultra League right now, is ranked a lot better. It's still kind of in the top 300, but getting the XL Candy for this Pokemon, it has a very similar setup too. So if you're looking for that spice pick, this could be a good opportunity to get XL Candy for that Pokemon as well. Our next target, number 4, is probably the best out of all of them, which is going to be Wimpod going into Golisopod. Remember, you need candy because to evolve Wimpod into Golisopod, you're going to need 400 candy, which is very important to mention. But in the Great League right now, Golisopod is currently ranked 46th with that Fury Cutter, X Scissor, and Aqua Jet combination. The optimal IV set you want there is a little bit different. It's actually a 0-8-15. So if you do find an IV set that kind of looks similar to this, please keep it in your bag and run it through Go Stadium with the rank checker, so you'll be able to see based on that IV set that you've caught what rank it might be. Golisopod is so good because it's spammy, it's very agile, it has a lot of shield pressure, it's flexible, and in the Ultra League it performs even better, currently ranking in the 28th spot. The optimal IV set you want here is going to be a 1-14-15, and you could even use this as a raid attacker because as a bug type attacker, it's currently sitting in the top 30 in the 28th spot with Fury Cutter and X Scissor. And as we know, and if you didn't know, Golisopod shares a water typing. So with Waterfall and Razor Shell, it's also around the 26th spot as a raid attacker. This is probably the Pokemon of the event that has the most utility. Please go after that Wimpod and try and get the candy and XL Candy for this Pokemon. Target number 5, and it's going to be a quick one, is going to be Esper going into Meowstic. Remember that female and that male have a different form. They take on different colors, but their stats stay the same. But more importantly, it has been leaked for sure that Mega Meowstic will be coming to the game in the future. It was in the DLC of the Legend ZA game, and the look of it actually almost combines those those two colors, and it will probably be a decent psychic type raid attacker when it does come out, so try and get that hundo. Target number 6 is going to be coming from our 2-kilometer eggs, which is going to be Riolu. Guys, Riolu going into Lucario and eventually Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario is currently the best fighting type attacker in the entire game right now, and remember, it's just come out in Legends ZA that Mega Lucario Z will be making its appearance in Pokemon Go at some point in the future, so you really want to actually try and have 2 hundos of Riolu, so try and hatch these Pokemon. The next one is going to be Togepi going into Togekiss, a brilliant Pokemon. Just to fly through it very quickly, as a raid attacker, Togekiss currently right now is the 15th best fairy type attacker in the entire game with Charm and Dazzling Gleam, and even in the Master League, because of that fairy typing, it can take on so many dragons with the potential of Charm being used as your fast move too. It's currently in the 36th spot. Togepi going into Togekiss, a brilliant target to go after too. And last but not least, and it's going to be a quick one, which is going to be Happiny, eventually going into Chansey or Blissey. Chansey is one of the best, if not the best, gym defender in the game right now, so that's going to be a quick one, and that shiny Happiny would be a great one to have on your Pokédex entry. Guys, if you want to see everything going on in Pokemon Go this week, we will leave it as our end screen, and remember, we will be covering the entirety of this event being taken over by Team Rocket. Giovanni is going to have a new legendary boss that we need to save, as well as the leaders having new shadow Pokemon. We packed this video for you guys. This is probably everything you really need to know. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Please hit that hype button as well. It really helps us grow. Love you guys. Go with us, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. All right, come along, Fido.